Welcome to Jackson Hole in Wyoming. This week we have been at the Jackson Hole Ski Resort. Jackson Hole Ski Resort offers a plethora of runs from blue to double blues, which is their sort of designation, which is more like reds than blue. Jackson itself has many options, and one of the most difficult runs in North America, known as Corbett's Collier. Corbett's Collier is situated at around 3,150 metres at the top of the aerial tram at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort. Jackson Hole Mountain Resort is about 15 miles from Jackson in Wyoming. Jackson Hole is renowned for being a very tough ski resort. What I found nice about Jackson Hole was that even though it's a very well-renowned resort, it wasn't too busy. There wasn't a lot of people here in the weekdays. Because of the lease agreement terms that Jackson Hole Mountain Resort has with the United States Forestry Service, then only 7,500 skiers a day are allowed on Jackson Hole property, therefore making queues always quite short, even on what most places would say would be busy days. When there was powder, yes, there was definitely lots of the locals came out to have a go. But overall, the wait times were minimal and didn't have to queue for more than 5 minutes, even on a weekend, which for big resorts in the US is quite uncommon. Jackson as a town is a lovely little spot. There are many great places to eat, including the local, which I have been a couple of times, offering everything from steaks, burgers, risottos, and has a wonderful local vibe to it. Jackson is very traditionally set in terms of it feels like the 21st century meets the 18th century, with many parts of downtown still having original and a lot of the properties looking like the Wild Wild West. Jackson itself has only about a population of about 10,000 people, and this swells significantly during the winter with lots of visitors to around 3 million inhabitants during peak summer and peak winter, especially this weekend with the 48th Hill Run beginning, which is basically snowmobilers from the US, Canada and Sweden coming together to race snowmobiles up the mountain in multiple classes as quickly as possible. Around 500 riders and over 1,000 snowmobiles have gathered here in Jackson, Wyoming, ready for the hill climb, which is a 4-day event from Thursday through till Sunday. Overall, I would say that Jackson as a town is very accessible, with the airport only being about 20 minutes from the centre. Flights from many metropolitan areas within the US, including Los Angeles, Denver and Seattle. It definitely feels like traditional Americana. Wyoming being quite a conservative state, meaning there isn't as much of this annoying flair that some cities do have, especially when it comes to having overly rowdy bars and pubs and late night noise. Definitely a very family oriented town, and one that is well worth a visit. I'm thinking that Jackson Hole Resort is getting a 9.2, making it into my top 4 resorts. A joint second, knocking out Mount Bachelor as in my rankings now of 91 different ski resorts. The top 2 being Zermatt and Jungfrau in Switzerland. While I am in Jackson Hole, I'm staying at the Elk Country, which is one of several cheaper options on Pearl Street in Jackson, ranging around about $200, $250 a night, which includes Antler, the 49ers, Because in Jackson, expensive hotels range from 500 in town up to around 1800 if you stay at the Four Seasons per night at the Jackson Hole Mountain Resort Village. At my hotel, the facilities include a pool, laundry facilities, and also a ski waxing room for sharpening and waxing your skis, which is definitely handy when you're trying to avoid paying $50+ for waxing and edging your ski. What makes up for the exorbitant price of some of these places is, again, the good atmosphere and local vibes that is unusual for certain American cities, but it's nice to have a feel which is more conservative. In a town like this, you would be able to leave your windows open and doors open of your cars and your doors to your house unlocked, whereas in many places in America that would be an absolute no-no, on risk of break-ins by those on opioids or by other sections of the community that didn't share the sort of American spirit of liberty and justice for all. But thank you very much for listening to Big Blue's exploration, and please stay tuned to listen to more in the coming weeks. Thank you.